Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Captain Check here, and welcome aboard a Venator, but not the Venator that I've worked on. This is actually a different one, a quite smaller one, but today we're gonna be talking about some new technology that's come to Space Engineers. Let me jump back into my my heavy Alliance fighter that we've used in the RP series. I don't know if you guys have gotten a really good look at this. I showed it off, I think it was around episode 5 or 6 of the RP series. It was chasing Captain Palatime's Serenity class, Firefly class vessel, Serenity class, excuse me. I love this ship. I mean, this is my favorite fighter personally that I've ever designed. It's got a gun turret in the back, just to show you guys off real quick. It's got the main cockpit, and then back here in the armored section is the gunner's seat that can control the turret on the back. She's kind of maneuverable, not the best ship for maneuverability that I've ever built, but that's not what I'm here to show you guys. What I'm gonna show you is shield technology brought to Space Engineers. So let me hop in here real quick. Bloop. Let's go ahead and bring the reactors online. There we go. Detach from the ship, and we'll head out to the deck of this particular vessel. Make sure we don't clip the sides here. I think I'm clear. It's kind of hard to tell. There we go. I need a rear view camera on this thing, but all right, so there's the ship. Now, I actually really love this build. Now, you're gonna say, Shaq, that's not to scale, that's so small. Well, it's not, but with Space Engineers' issues rendering really large ships, I decided to use a smaller ship for the testing on this. Now, you're gonna see some hull damage over here on the side, and you're gonna see some mass blocks, but those aren't mass blocks. Those are shield blocks. The mod that we're gonna be taking a look at today it's in alpha, it's Energy Shields, made by Scython. Now, what he's done is really, really cool. Originally, this mod required a standalone server, and you had to change some of the files that you normally wouldn't have to change to mod the game. So you couldn't just subscribe to the mod and make it work. But, and I'm gonna pop out here and I'll show you guys. But this one now works out of the box. It does have some limitations that I'm gonna talk about. It does cause a game crash, but not as bad as you might think. So these are the shield blocks. He is working on a custom model for them. Every one of these blocks creates 10,000 points of shields. Shields for whatever it's attached to. So every block here attached to this grid, this entire ship is guarded by, because we have 4 shield blocks down, 40,000 points of shields. So let's actually go on to the onto this sucker real quick. We'll take a look at it. Okay, so this is shield generator number 9. If we type in shield here, I've got 40,000 shields out of 40,000 shields. Now you're wondering, well, Chuck, why doesn't it show up down here, or maybe somewhere else it would make more sense? Well, the way this mod works is when you put a shield generator down, you've got to put a bracket at the end of it. If you do that, it will auto-update using a script in the background, I guess, to show how much shields you have. Now, as you take damage, this number will change. These shields take a lot of power. They take 45 megawatts per shield generator, right? So for every one of these suckers. Now, if you're wondering how much that is, a small generator, a small reactor, I'll throw one on here. Small reactor only produces, I wanna say it's 5 megawatts. So that's a large. Here's the small reactor. This only produces 5. That's not a lot to work with. I'm gonna make sure though. Yeah, 5 megawatts. So to get one of those powered on and operational off of these, you would need a considerable amount more. All right, so what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to have the large ones. Now the large reactor produces 100 megawatts. It's plenty to run these suckers. So let's get rid of that. Now on this ship particular, we have, I wanna say there's 8 reactors on board. There's either 4 or 8, but there's enough. There's enough to get the job done. Now, these do stack. The more you have, the more shields you'll get. Let me go ahead and grab the shield block, and we'll show you guys what it takes to build these real fast. To build them, it's not too bad. Gravity components, 20, construction components, 200, then 250 steel plates, large steel tubes, and computers. It's not too bad, but the more we have of these, the more it will stack. And they do have a charging mechanic once they take damage. So let's jump into our heavy Alliance fighter here, and we'll switch to missiles. You can see I've already done some testing. There's a little bit of hull damage there on the side, but let's target over here, and let's open fire. Now normally, this is light armor. You would see some sizable damage to a ship of this armor rating. We're gonna keep firing. No damage, no damage. I can do a strafing run on this. We'll produce no damage, no damage. It does show like little bits flying off, but that's kind of just the effect. Still no damage, but let's see what they're standing at now. So we're gonna go over here. We're gonna look at this shield generator. What's our shields up to? Look up shields. Well, we're about half shields. Out of 40,000, we were down to 26. Now, you recharge faster based on how many of these you have operational, as long as they're powered. So each one of these will generate a certain amount, and the more you have, the more you'll generate, and they generate like, well, they generate on a bell curve. If you don't know what that is, it's a lot like EVE Online. They generate faster on the lower end, but if they're completely empty, they'll generate slow. So it's slow, much faster, and then once they almost tap out, they'll start generating slower again. You can look at his page to get more information on that. But if you ever played EVE, you know what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and knock the shields out, and you'll see this thing will take some damage. We're gonna do an attack run. Let's actually do an attack run. Let's get a little speed here. Flip her around. There's our target. Dead ahead. Preparing for the attack run on it. And as we hit it all over, we're gonna take that shields down and down until eventually, and I'll just sit here for a second, we will start. I have no strafing capability in this heavy fighter. It's meant to go straight and use those rear engines for its main thrust. But if we keep firing, we should break through. There we go, we've broken through and we're starting to do traditional damage. You can see how much light armor just cannot stand up against rockets. Man, that's rough. Blew 2 holes in it. All right, now the limitation, the crashing issue that I talked about before, because you're probably thinking, finally we've got shields. I mean, it'd be cool if they had a visual effect. Something like StarMade has is actually really, really cool. It's got a great effect where it you see this energy field when it takes a hit, ripple off the hull. But this one, no, you just don't take any damage. Now you're probably thinking, yes, we finally have shields. Well, the one problem with this though is if you, and I'll shoot at it a little bit. If I were to fire, better way of showing this actually. Let's grab the shield block. If the ship takes damage and say this block here is blown off and these two become their own ship and go to float away, it will break the game. It will crash your game. So there's no workaround for that just yet. The mod author is aware of it. He does say it in the description, even though people are still commenting that it will crash your game. That's why it crashes your game. Now, originally when I read his description, I thought he meant that if the ship you're flying that's shielded takes so much damage that say you cut it in half, that would make it crash. No, that's not the case. From my experience, from my testing, if I were to shoot one of these off the ship and it breaks away, that would crash the server. Kind of a bummer, especially if you're, running a standalone server. You're not going to want something that could crash your server. But if you're just kind of want to test shield technology, or if you know, if you tell everybody that you're playing with, hey, don't blow off shield generators, put them deep in the core of your ship, then you might be okay. Maybe. You got to keep an eye on it. Like I said, we'll go to his page real quick. He is working on it. Next up, upgradable modules, small ship version, and a custom model. And of course, the known bugs, breaking ships apart can cause a crash. And sometimes shields have a negative maximum value, blah, 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 blah. It seems to work just fine for me, except for the one crashing issue. And look at that, the shields have already recharged. It took no damage. But like I said, there is a charge over time. Now, something that I want to test out with this is some type of capacitor system where I use batteries to charge up like a big battery bank, and then when I want my shields to come on and I want to charge them really quickly, I flick on the battery bank, and now I went from, even though I've only got, some normal sized reactors, I do have a battery bank that turns on that maybe charges the shield. I'm not sure how that would work out. I'd have to mess with it, but overall, this is the first real shield mod that we've had. And I'm happy it's finally happened. I really thought somebody would make a shield mod based on the spherical gravity generator and make it like an impact radius where the gravity field actually becomes a solid object, anything that hits it and bounces off or something. That's what I thought somebody would do. But instead, he's come up with a way to protect an entire row of blocks. Now if they could just fix this crashing issue. Maybe we'll see Keen Softworks, we'll see the guys add in shield technology, because they've already got hyperdrives. I mean, originally they said, we're not gonna go science fiction. We're not gonna have faster than light travel, and the only thing that we're really gonna have that's sci-fi is mass blocks. And now we've got hyperdrives, and we've got planets, and we've got crazy weapon technology. So a shield system would be really, really cool, guys. I would not complain one bit, especially in asteroids. That's what we should test this on, asteroids. Let's do it. I'll be right back.
Meteor storm inbound.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna actually take out some of these. We've got meteors inbound on Cataclysm mode. Here they come, raining down from the sky. We have, using the antenna I installed, I put one of the shields on the HUD. We have 50,000 shields, you can see there. Oh, good grief. And it is the end times. It is the end days. Oh, man. Now, will we have a direct impact? Oh, just past the bow. Oh, crap, that one's dead on target. Brace for impact, all hands, brace for impact. And there's the impact. We have another one. Nope, that's a miss. That's another miss. There's another impact. So I'm not seeing, nope, there's another hit. I'm not seeing any actual damage from the meteors, but I'm also not seeing any damage to the shields. Now, I wonder if that's just the way meteorites do damage. They're not computed in the shield, or maybe the shields are just too strong and they regenerate faster. Like, let's do a test. Let's remove every one of these. Should remove 10,000 shields. We'll go with the lowest number of shields that you could possibly have, and let's see what happens when we take another impact. Now, it is protecting us, which is really, really cool, but they're not balanced to actually like take some of that capacitor, that shield energy down. So shields are at 10,000. The rate of recharge is now very, very low. Let's see what happens. We've got incoming, and it missed. Oh man, this is really cool though. I kind of, the fiery doom meteorites don't make sense in space, but they sure look cool. Way easier to see too. Ignore those two holes. That's where I was doing some shield testing earlier. All right, let's get in the bridge. This is also where we were testing earlier. So the damage that you see here on the bridge is not from meteorite impacts. Oh, the meteors are all coming after the blue ship. And you can see its turret just going to town trying to save it. We could rush over there and see if we can slap a shield generator on it, but I don't know if the blue ship only has small reactors, so I doubt it'll have the power necessary, but we'll try it. Oh, it took another hit. Its weapon systems are still online though. Throwing a shield block inside, or actually we'll just throw it, yeah, we'll just throw it inside on the deck. Oh God, she doesn't have enough power. You can tell how she's completely shut down now. Interesting that the turret is still firing. The turret is still drawing power from the reactor. There must be a priority system or something. Let's go ahead and take that off. Her systems will come back online, and she can continue to return fire. Let's remove this though. We'll remove this ship. Oh wow, something popped. That way, the only thing now that the asteroid should target and go after is our poor vessel with its 10,000 shields.
Meteor storm inbound.
And on cue, we've got meteors inbound. Get to the bridge. It's only one meteor, though that meteor does seem to be dead on approaching the ship. Might just miss the bow. Oh no, direct hit, and the shields are 100%. Oh boy, get to the bridge. So it seems through this testing that, yes, shields will protect you from meteorite impacts. And no, they won't even bring the shields down a little bit. Here comes another meteorite. Let's just say it real quick. There's a hit, dead hit, and 0 damage. Shields are holding, and there's no damage to the shields. All right, that's good to know. So let's see how much a single shield can actually absorb when it comes to damage. Now on a ship on this scale, I would probably have 5 shield generators on, maybe more. I mean, you'd have to really balance. Whoa! Oh, good grief. What a way to test this. Just flying through Armageddon. Oh man, whoa! That's actually really, really cool. All right, let's come about. We're gonna start our attack run. Switch to missiles for some long range damage. Oh boy, can we please go forward? Can we please go forward? There we go. We were still drifting backwards. The acceleration on this is pretty good. So missiles away. We'll switch with the UI on. And 2 missiles did 5,000 damage. Just 2 rockets. A second's burst of machine gun fire. So we'll do 2 seconds fire. 1, 2. 2,000 damage. So you can see the shields aren't I wouldn't say these are overpowered. 1, 2. Rockets. And shields are now down to 1.6. So another blast should take the shields down to nothing. And you can see we have some damage to the hull there. You can see how the red is messed up a little bit. Let's do one more blast. Shields are completely down, and we've got actual hull damage. So, but they immediately start regenerating. So they kind of, it looks like they give you a little bit more armor plating in a way. Because of the regeneration, you still absorb just a little bit of damage. The more of those you'll have, though, the faster you'll regenerate. So if you had like 5 of them, you might be able to stop a small fighter, or at least stall a small fighter long enough for your anti-aircraft guns to shoot it down out of the sky. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, that's the new shield mod. I'm gonna be keeping an eye on it for future updates. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel for more Space Engineers gaming goodness, and as always, thanks for watching. I will see you guys, woo, next time.